Okay, folks, here it is. I come up with something. I think I've stumbled onto something here, and I'm going to go over it with you. There may be absolutely no logic in this at all, and people will look at this and say, this guy's going to get wrecked. Okay? This whole video is based on XRP, my XRP holders. Okay? When we look at XRP over the 3 months, okay, we see that, the hour, day, week, very bad. We've had a lot of fluctuation and a lot of consolidation and a lot of stuff going on where we're like, my gosh, it's just dropping. Okay? XRP is a pretty expensive little coin. And so the more you're holding, the more wrecked you feel like you're getting. Okay? So if you look at the month, it's been up 30%. Okay? It's a long time to have to sit there and wait and watch all this up and down that's taking place that just seems like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? Okay, and for the year, we're at about 498. But if we look at the 3 months, we'll see that we're about 494. This was at about 500 here just a little while ago. XRP is currently kind of falling down to about 306, 305 right now. Okay? But for 3 months, since November 5th to around November 9th, which is when the EMA cross turned over and said, hey, we're in a bullish pattern. It actually started on November 5th. So November 9th is when it crossed over on EMA pattern. So if I get rid of this and now I go to this monstrous looking geometric figure that I got going on here, I'm going to explain this, and I think it'll make sense, and you might be like, bang! So, XRP, using Coinbase, okay, this starting on the November 9th EMA crossover bullish pattern, which we've been bullish ever since, all the way up to today, January 31st. Okay? You draw a trend line, boom. You can see it's on its way up. It's been going up. That's a trend line. Okay? So then you say, well, over this trend, we've had 2 pretty good runs. Okay? So based on the trend line, if you put an Elliott wave on there, you get 1, 2, 3. We're going into 4. And I'll show you how I came up where I feel like 4 is and where 5 is going. Okay? So you look at the 2 previous runs here, and you look at the first run was up 391% over a 24-day period. So I've got these 2 markers. Then our second run was about 64% over 17 days. So just like our trend line, we can then take this point, make a plot, follow a trend line, and make it intersect with this 17-day period. And then we have a trend line. Then you go up here to the top of your percentage point, plot line, and you draw a trend line and you make it intersect with this one. You end up where you've got like this little wedge thing going here, depending on which way you're seeing there. I don't see my image right here, so I don't know, but it's going up in this little wedge here. Okay, so this is an average 24, 17, and then drawing a line, so then based on the Elliott wave pattern and the intersection, you end up saying, well, right here on about February 7th, which actually turns out to be the 7th is the average between the 5th when it started and the 9th when the EMA crossed over. So it just so happens to be, it's a great average. It lined up there. And so that makes great sense to me. And then if you plot your lines, well, then that means that percentage should be around 24% and out, because you're following this trend line, out over 12 days, it should run up about 24% and start somewhere around February 7th and end somewhere around February 19th. Or excuse me, that would be the top out ish, maybe somewhere around the top. And then if it reconsolidates like it has twice in a row, it would then consolidate to our trend line, where I would hope it would bounce again and start a little thing here around February 28th. Okay, so that puts this in this little window here, somewhere between $3.65 up to $3.79, $3.80, somewhere around February 17th to 19th, to have this little window of topping out after a run that starts around February 7th. And I cannot wait to see if this verifies. In fact, I'm going to take a screenshot of this right now, and we'll take a look at it. I could be totally wrong. Something tells me that this is so logical that it looks like a good point of entry if you haven't already been in. If I haven't, well, I'm in. I don't want to get into that. I'm talking about a chart here. I'm not talking about what anybody might do or want to do. No. I'm looking at the chart here, and I think around February 7th, we might have a bounce back and a run over 12 days to about $3.80. And that's just using some logic, some geometric figures here. It's logarithmic, I guess is what it is. It's not linear. And it's in a descending ratio of sorts. And I'm going to wait and see. So that's in short. Another little recording here. I will go live here tonight, probably around 11 o'clock Central Daylight Time. And we're going to go over this in depth here. I'm going to draw it all out brand new. So I want you all to be able to watch this right here. I'm not going to take any questions. I'm not going to take any questions. I've got to do something different with the way my streams are, because I keep getting hit for violations. And just to let people know, there are now multiples of me. I guess I'm growing so fast or whatever, which I appreciate so much. I love you all. But there's people out there, which, by the way, I've turned them both in. And TikTok says they're not violating any rules. So, okay, I guess that's legal to do. Or not legal, but not against the content. You know, it's not a violation. You can farm videos, apparently, and try to get people to think you're someone else, so that they'll make contact with you. So maybe they'll try to get you in to do something that might be a fraud or a scam. And for some reason, I keep getting tagged fraud and scam when they're the ones who are probably doing that. I don't get it. I'm not going to try to figure it out. However, there we are. Take a look at it. One more screenshot. Folks, I'll talk to y'all later. Thank you so much. Have a good evening.